This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
So about 2 months ago, someone I know quite well felt very good about himself. He was proactive and never did this before. He booked a round-trip ticket for himself, for his family, to spend time with his in-laws for Sukkot. Had the confirmation, the email, he was ready to go. Gonna hop on the flight, his wife would be happy, his kids would be happy, they're going to the grandparents, exciting. Last week, his brother-in-law calls him up and says, I think you made a mistake. I want to be on the same flight as you. I want to coordinate this, but I think you booked on Simchas Torah. And he said, no, I didn't. I checked Google. I checked the Apple calendar. October 15th was the date of flight. October 14th, which means it starts in Simchas Torah, and October 15th was departure date. I'm good to go. His brother-in-law hangs up, goes and checks again the local calendar, and he calls back his brother-in-law and says, listen, I don't know what calendars you looked at, but I'm telling you, the 15th is Yontif. You booked the wrong date. And sure enough, he went back, he looked again, and he was wrong. After all his hard work, being ahead of things, he realized that he booked his return ticket for Simchas Torah. To make things worse, he booked a basic economy ticket. The kind of ticket that we hate, the one that says in big, bold letters, over and over, no changes, no refunds, no modifications. He was frustrated, but he figured, okay, I'll work it out with United. Last week, he calls up, spoke to 5 reps. Each one told him the same exact thing. Sorry, sir, you booked a non-refundable ticket. You can pay the fare difference, however, and upgrade, but that's it. You know how much that upgrade and that fare changes? It was more than the original tickets. And he just felt depressed, frustrated, disappointed in himself and the whole situation. Like, what does God want from me? What's the situation? Why? And later that night, he actually felt the ray of hope. He got on the phone with another representative, and the representative said, sir, I spoke to my supervisor, and he said, miss your flight and call back the next day, the day of the flight, and they'll redirect you for sure. He told his wife the plan, the strategy, and you can imagine what her thoughts were on the matter. This wasn't happening. A few days later, Shabbos passed, and he knew Monday he'd be busy again, sorting this out. Sure enough, Monday morning came, he got back on the phone, back at it with United. He called once, twice, and again, he heard the same thing over and over. Sir, I'm sorry, you booked non-refundable, non-negotiable, basic economy tickets. And finally, after 3 or 4 representatives, the lady said, well, actually, we can do you a service, a favor at one time. We can waive the upgrade fee and just charge you the fare difference. It cut the cost in half, and he was kind of happy about it, a nice negotiation, but still, he felt something, he felt he could do more, it was still a lot of money, and he said, maybe I can do better. And he felt if Hashem is in control, he's in control of this as well. No matter how many no's he got, if it's Hashem on the other side, then Hashem can do anything. So while the rep was waiting for an answer, he politely asked, ma'am, can I please speak to the supervisor? And she said, sir, I already spoke to the supervisor. And he said, please, just one more time, can you ask them? And she asked again and the same thing, sir, the best we can offer you now is we can waive the upgrade fee and you'll just have to pay the fare difference. And finally he said, you know what, can I please speak to the supervisor myself? She put him on hold and he reminded himself, this isn't United Airlines, it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu. As Rav Chaim Brisker says, the limit, the end of where we can stretch our bitachon is just where Hashem begins. As the Chavis Havavis tells us, that Hashem is behind everything. You realize you're not on the phone with United, you're on the phone with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're talking to the Eibishter himself. And so he said a kapitel Tehillim in his head, he asked Hashem for help. He reminded and fortified himself that he truly believes Hashem can waive all the fees despite the bold black print that said non-changeable. And so the supervisor gets on the line, he tells her the story calmly, respectfully, and asks one last time. She came to the phone and said, sir, I understand your situation, but unfortunately the most we can offer you is to waive. And he said, realizing that he's talking to God himself. He said, ma'am, I made an honest mistake. He said, I have no leverage on you. I have the lower hand, but I simply ask you from your kind heart to see if you can consider waiving all of the fees. It was a mistake I simply couldn't prevent. The calendar had the wrong info. Please see. One more last chance if you can help me. She pauses. You know what, sir? I'm going to make a one-time exception for you. He wasn't sure if his ears were working properly. And she said, yeah, sir, please check your email. I'll make a one-time exception for you. As he saw, he got the email, everything was updated. It went from the 15th to the 16th. He was dumbfounded, he was puzzled. He knew it was all the Eibishter, and he was just inside. There was a circus going on inside of gratitude, of thanks. Not just that he waived the fee, but that his bitachon saw like a nace roll out in front of his eyes. And he asked the lady, he said, what made you change your mind? And she said, you reached the right lady on the right day. He said, that's correct, what she feels. But he knew better. He had reached HaKadosh Baruch Hu on the right day, at the right time. When he changed his attitude and truly believed there's nothing out of Hashem's orbit, and came with that realization, when they communicated on the same frequency, That's when he was ready to shift things around and literally make an open miracle. I can verify every detail of this story because that someone was me. The theme of Rosh Hashana is Malchus Kadesh Tamachuni Aleichem. Malchus in Rosh Hashana means taking Hashem, putting him in the center of our lives, into the daily grind. It's crowning him, saying, Hashem Melech. It's not United, it's not the supervisor, it's not my boss, the CEO, the circumstances of life. It's not even me. It's all Hashem. There's so much we need and ask for health, for parnasa, for children, for nachas, for happiness, for shidduchim, refuah, clarity, success. The list is endless. And on this day on Rosh Hashana, when we fortify ourselves with the knowledge, with the idea brura that Hashem is king, He is my king, everything changes. When you bring Hashem into the picture, anything can happen. Even after you get 15 no's, He can turn it into a yes, and He can change everything. And that's what Rosh Hashanah is all about. The day we beseech HaKadosh Baruch Hu and cry for bracha and atzlacha. And the greatest atzlacha emerges when Hashem is in our hearts and minds every second of our lives, when He's not just the Melech HaOlam, but He's the Melech Shali, my personal father and king as well. That's what Rosh Hashanah is about. Make it happen, make it real, make Hashem yours. You have a good kabench.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.